So welcome to our first virtual meetup. Just so that you all know, this is an opportunity for us to kind of meet as a class in real time, or as real time as we can get it with being so spread out. And then we're going to have another meetup just like this in week 4. So that's going to be 2 weeks from today, same time, same place. I do want to take a minute to introduce myself to all of you. My name is Katie Sadler Stevenson, and I've been the one who's been sending out all of the messages to you via the PSO Blend online system. I am based in a small rural town about an hour east of Atlanta, and I've been involved with VISTA since August of 2010, where I started serving as a VISTA member and then served as a VISTA leader with Georgia 4-H, and now I work directly for Georgia 4-H, coordinating and managing their VISTA program. I've been involved in volunteer management for most of my career, and I am really committed to volunteerism. I think it's one of the most wonderful things that people can do and be involved in, and volunteer training is my favorite thing to do in that. For the next few weeks, I'll be facilitating your experience in the online classroom and the discussion forum. I'll be answering questions about the curriculum, reviewing your assignments, and I will be as much of a resource to you as I possibly can be, and if I don't know something, I'm going to help you find the answers as best I can. I know that there has been a lot of stuff going on this week. You've had to do 2 webinars in your first week. Now you have this virtual meetup, and then there's been, the assignments that we've had you do, plus all of the things of being at a new VISTA site for a week and a half. So I acknowledge that there's a lot going on. This meetup is meant to give you the opportunity to take a breather and to kind of check in with each other and to help us all connect in a slightly more personal way. And the goal is that these meetups will help center and energize you as you start your VISTA service. It also gives you some time to process stuff in community with each other, which I know is something that I found really helpful. I hope that you will find that helpful as well. And hang on just a second. We've got somebody who has some talking going on in the background, so just a reminder to everybody to please go ahead and mute yourselves. Let's see, with that, I do want to thank all of y'all that completed your 7 Things About Me activity in the minute intro. It was really amazing to see the variety of projects that you all are serving with. And I particularly love the 7 Things posts. I thought those were really fun, and there was quite a bit of stuff that I had to go look up. I didn't know what some of it was. I can now say that I officially know what museology means and what the warped tour is. I will say, in my defense, I totally knew what the warped tour was a really long time ago. I just forgot that I knew that. So just a quick reminder and request, please go ahead and attach a photo to your profile in the Blend classroom. It helps me a lot to put a face with a name. It doesn't have to be a perfect or even a professional photo. Maybe next week can be like Goofy Profile Photo Week. I'm in if y'all are in. Who's up for Goofy Profile Photo Week next week? You can just put it in the chat box. You can say you think I'm crazy or you think it's a great idea. Oh, nobody's jumping on it. Nobody's jumping on it. Oh, I got one. Cool. Yes. See, 2 people have versus 3. All right, that's enough. We're making next week Goofy Profile Picture Week. Everybody put up a Goofy profile picture. I'll start. I'll try to do mine this afternoon. All right, are you guys ready to find out where everybody in this Blend session is physically? We're going to. So this is where you're serving, and you guys get to use the pointer annotation tool, sounds very official, to map out where your service location is on the map. So here are the instructions for this. To find the annotation tool, you're going to click the pin icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen to expand the annotation tools toolbar. And then when the tools are displayed, you'll click on the pointer tool, which looks like an arrow. And then you can click on the screen to display a pointer arrow with your name in it.
They didn't give me anything else.
I got a couple of people doing that. And then, let's see. Cody, it seems like you are not muted. If you could go ahead and mute yourself, that would be great. We can hear when you're talking.
Oh, I am so sorry, Katie. My bad.
No, that's okay. It's just really great. It shows up who's talking, like up in the top, so I can say, turn it off. I do webinars with my VISTA team, and I don't have that function, and it drives me crazy because, like, who's talking? Turn it off. So this is nice that I can figure out who it is. It looks like lots of y'all have figured out how to use the pointer annotation tool, so this is great. So keep them coming. All right, we got people going all the way up. Like, is that in New Hampshire up there? Let's see. Jessica, are you in Tennessee or Mississippi or Arkansas?
I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, awesome. My dad lives in Memphis, Tennessee. We got somebody all the way over in Texas. You have to see Bethany is way over in Oregon. They are based out of Portland. All right, we got an Alabama person. This is cool. So it looks like in this session, we've got like a chunk of people up in New England. So that's cool. And then Jessica, you're a VISTA leader, so you have other people with you, correct?
No, just me today.
Okay. Gotcha. I have somebody drawing on the state of Texas. This is humorous. I didn't know you could draw on it. All right. So it looks like we've got a good chunk of people up in New England. I know that, like, looking at the roster for the group, we have people in other areas too. Like, looking at the roster, there's a good chunk of people in Connecticut. Like, yeah, nice big chunk of people there. So the reason that we're doing this is so that you can kind of connect to other people who are around you, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we go forward. I want to also say I'm just really thankful we're in 2 time zones and not 4. It makes things much easier. So right now we're going to talk about getting connected to each other and to the entire VISTA network. For the PSO blend, you can always, and about like how to connect to each other, like contact people too. For the PSO blend, you can always reach me by either sending a direct message through the PSO blend system or by posting in one of the forums. When you post in those, I receive alerts to every post that happens in those, so I'll get that. And I will try to respond as quickly as possible, definitely within 24 hours. Just to give you fair warning though, I'm a bit slower to respond on the weekends, just being honest on that. You should probably already be a little familiar with the VISTA campus from your pre-service work. Whoa, somebody just took some stuff over. We're gonna go back here. So I'm hoping everybody's, let's see. All right, can you guys check in and let me know if you see the slide that says getting connected with a map of the U.S.? I got one. Okay, excellent. All right.
Katie, I can't seem to find it.
Cody, if you look up at the top, are you on the computer or are you on a mobile device?
I'm on both. Audio is coming through my mobile device, and I'm also on the computer.
Okay. If you look up at the top, it may say quick start meeting info and then week _2 virtual. It may have 3 tabs up there. And then if you click on week 2 virtual, you should end up at the right place.
Okay. I only have the 2 tabs. I have quick start and meeting info.
Huh. Bethany, can you help us out with this?
Yeah, sorry about that. You know what, Katie, it looks like you're sharing the where are you serving. So if you were to click forward on the tab, you would be showing the next one, the slide 5. Okay, now it's working.
Okay, something like, this is doing really weird stuff. Okay.
Do you want me to take the control of the?
Yeah, if you can for now. Like just a second ago, it was like somebody else had taken control of my computer and it started displaying like a full screen image with other stuff. But now it's back to normal.
Okay, and what we're seeing is or at least what I'm seeing is the, oh, you know what? I think I took control. Okay, sorry about that. I will make sure you have that back. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Sorry, everyone, as we work through these technical glitches. Okay. You can laugh at us. It's totally okay. Just stay on mute and laugh all you want.
Do you have control again? Can you go ahead and...
Yeah, I'm going to try to...
slide forward.
Okay. Can other people check in and let us know if you're seeing slides move?
Katie, I still don't see a third tab here.
Okay. All right. And Bethany, would Cody's best bet just be to log off and log back in?
Yeah, I would do that because that would, some of the stuff just kind of needs to be restarted.
Okay.
So you just go, yeah, to leave meeting and come back.
All right. Okay, so just to check in, is everybody now seeing the slide that says getting connected?
No.
No. Oh, and we have somebody who's having to move the slides herself.
Yeah.
So we should everybody should be on slide 5. Oh, see, and Bethany, my slides just moved, and I didn't do that.
So I clicked forward, and so this is really strange. So now we're on getting connected. Oh, and then did it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to, because you can't move them, right? Is that what's happening?
I can move them. Like, when I do it on my screen, it looks like they're moving, but apparently it's not moving for other people.
Yeah. Yeah, it might need to be can you close it and then start it again?
Yeah.
The other option is, I don't know that you can give me the controls in your room, in your personal meeting room.
Okay.
You could try that.
So should I just completely close out of this tab and then upload the file again?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that real quick. Everybody, we are sorry that we're going through this, and we are going to take care of it as fast as we can. You're going to see this tab go away, and then you should see another one come up in just a second.
Yep. So it went away. Thank you. There really is just something about a glitchy thing with WebEx. We have different things that kind of happen. Okay, great. It's just shown up.
Excellent. All right. Can you see slide 2 now?
2, yep.
All right, and 3.
Slide 4.
And number 5.
Awesome.
And I feel like we're at the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Cody, are you able to see the slides that say, we're on the one that says getting connected?
Yes, I'm good now. I can see.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Bethany. I feel like we're a little bit like we're at the eye doctor. Is 1 better or 2 better? All right. So we're going to go back. I'm going to regroup. We'll try again on this one. So what I was saying before is that if you need to contact me, you can use either the forums or you can send a private message. I'm going to get those, and I will respond as quickly as possible, usually within 24 hours. Well, within 24 hours, but I am slower on the weekends. So the other piece is that you should be somewhat familiar with the VISTA campus from your pre-service work that you did. So that's what this page is from. I encourage all of you to explore it and to take a look at what all is there. There are a ton of resources as well as ways to connect with VISTA members throughout the country. You can see from the screenshot that there's a VISTA map on the campus, which that is available at vistacampus.gov. I will type that in real quick. Vistacampus.gov. Let's see. I'm typing in the web address. HTTP. I can type and talk at the So that is to the VISTA campus. To get to the maps page, it's just vistacampus.gov/map. In the next week or so, go ahead onto that map and add your info to it. This is a really neat way to connect with VISTAs and VISTA alumni in the geographical area that you are serving. It can serve as a resource for a local network that you can access for information as well as potential friends, mentors, and here's a fun one for those of you who do volunteer development. It can be some resource for getting some volunteers for staff. So go ahead and get in that. It can also be really helpful when you are done with your service and if you're moving far away. You may be able to connect with some people who are in the area that you are going to. So just go on there, check it out, get yourself on there. Do you have any questions so far? Not seeing any. Not seeing any hands raised. All right. We will keep going then. All right, I'm on slide 6. Are you guys on slide 6 too? Got a yes. Okay, awesome. I'm going to hope that all of you are there. So we're going to check in on the assignments that were due on Sunday night. That's the 7 Things About Me post, the minute intro, the VAD worksheet, and watching how poverty is measured video. I know a lot of you have taken care of this, and I think most of you have finished all of it, which is really wonderful. As I mentioned before, the response to these has been really great and really neat. I've enjoyed learning about each of you and the work that you're going to be doing in the coming year, as well as the gifts that you're bringing to the table, and then the skills that you're going to be expanding on in this year. I am still reading through all of your VAD worksheets, so if you haven't heard from me yet on that, you will hear from me by tomorrow night. I've got to get those done by then. If you haven't completed your assignments, please take care of them by 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. I, in turn, have to report everyone's progress to the VISTA folks on Friday evening, and so that's to give me enough time to do that before they close up shop on Friday. If you're having any technical problems with submitting those, send me a message, or you can post in the technical questions forum, which is another one of those forums you have access to. Those messages are there's a tech person from Education Northwest who will also receive those, and he will be able to troubleshoot your problems and help you quickly and easily. So if there is a real technical issue, feel free to post in that. You are more than welcome to do that. In fact, I encourage you to. I did notice that a lot of the submissions are PDFs, and some of the PDFs aren't displaying very well. I don't know why that's happening, but it is. So I've tried to contact everyone who did submit by PDF and that I wasn't able to view it, tried to contact you individually. And if I contacted you about that, please resubmit as soon as possible, either as a Word document or a rich text file. I can send out instructions on how to do a rich text file through the forum. Just if you do need those instructions, just put it in the chat thing, and then I'll note to myself that I need to do instructions for that. And with that, we're now going to delve deeper into VADs, as that is kind of your key roadmap to a VISTA year of service. So we're going to try the magic shift in slides. Are you guys on slide number 7? Yes. All right. Okay. So in theory, we would be spending the most amount of time on this slide today, but we might have spent a little bit more time trying to get other things fixed, and that's okay. But the goal is for this section to be useful for you, so please ask questions and make observations as we're going through stuff. Give me just a second, I have to take a drink of water. Excuse me. So in reading through everybody's VAD worksheets, there are a lot of common capacity building activities. And the big ones were volunteer management, so like recruitment, training, and fund development. Marketing and outreach also showed up quite a bit and are often a part of those other things. And in my experience with VISTA, this tracks with the big common themes that, Vistas all over the country are working on. So to talk a little bit about your VAD, that is your volunteer assignment description, and a lot of people will just refer to it as a job description. It is very akin to a job description, but there are some differences. The big difference is that a VAD should have a programmatic goal, and so that's your big 3-year goal of the entire VISTA project, as well as yearly goals, and those are the goals that you are going to complete in your term of service. The VISTA that came before you, if you aren't the first VISTA, should have had a different VAD, and the VISTA that comes after you, if you aren't the last VISTA, will have a bit different VAD as well. And with that, so that makes it this living document that it can even change within your one term. And it's not your only roadmap. It's not only your roadmap, but the roadmap for the entire VISTA project at your project site. I am here to tell you that it is totally normal to have questions about your VAD and to have some confusion around it. Most organizations that are out there don't spend their time writing job descriptions set up this way. So sometimes things are worded oddly, and if you're in a new to you field, that can raise a lot of questions just about day-to-day activities. So it's normal to have questions and to be confused about the VAD. Seriously, it's totally normal. Like, I work with VISTAs outside of this, and there is confusion about these. So knowing that and that it is okay to ask questions, what are some of your questions or confusions that you do have about your VAD so far? And you can respond to that in the chat, or if you'd like to talk, you can talk. I'm going to type out the question in the chat window as well. All right, and remember when you respond to make sure that you send to everyone so that we can all see it. So since nobody's saying anything yet, I'll say when I first started as a VISTA, it was the first year the site had ever had VISTAs, and the VAD made no sense whatsoever. I had no idea what I was doing. And it didn't relate to fighting poverty at all. It took probably 6 months to get that VAD nailed down into something that was actually useful, and a lot of discussions to make that happen. So it was a lot of like, what does this even mean, was the questions that I were asking. So like I said, it's normal to have questions about it. Let's see, we have a question from Andrea, and it's, where do you find the overall project goal versus your goal? So in your VAD, it should be set up, and you can kind of see this on the screen. I know the whole thing isn't showing. In that second block where it says VISTA assignment objectives and member activities, where it says project goal, that's the goal for the VISTA project at your site. So this one is to help ensure that children of incarcerated parents receive the support that they need to help them break the cycle of poverty. Excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. And that the VISTA project will build the capacity of the organization by developing a sustainable volunteer recruitment and management system. So that one is the overall goal for the entire VISTA project, is to provide these resources to that has to do with incarcerated parents, providing stuff to kids. So that's the big 3-year project. Within that, there are going to be activities and goals for each individual year. So the first VISTA year, it may be that they work on sustainable recruitment, and that's the biggest push in the first year. Or it may be that in that program, the biggest push is to come up with a curriculum for a mentoring program, and then in year 2, it's going to focus more on getting more volunteers in. It would just depend on how they wanted to set it up and what they would feel the best practices are. So specifically, yes, they are within objectives and activities. Your goal, your things are within objectives and activities. The project goal, which should be at the top of your VAD, is the overarching goal for the whole thing. Awesome. All right. Do we have any other questions? Because I could talk about VADs all day long. It would be really boring to most people. I'm willing to embrace that fact. but I find them to be very interesting. All right, do we have any other questions? No? You guys are really shy on the VAD questions. All right, so this isn't your only opportunity to ask questions. You can post things in the discussion forum if you have questions about it. If you have specific questions, you can also message me about it. So we can still talk about this. It doesn't just have to be here. And if you need some time to look at it and think about it before you can ask any questions, that is good too, and you will have that. And like I said, you know, we're going through this until, I think we don't finish until the first Friday of August. So there's plenty of time to ask questions within this setting. The other piece to know is that your first line of support and clearing up questions with your VAD is your supervisor. It's always going to be your supervisor. You should meet regularly with your supervisor to review and update your VAD. Having regular check-ins with your supervisor is going to help keep you on track with your VAD, as well as give you time to discuss any questions or roadblocks. So if you don't already have it set up that you're meeting regularly with your supervisor, personally, what I have my VISTAs meet with their supervisors at a minimum every other week for a scheduled time, and then if possible to go ahead and meet every week. And usually the ones who are meeting every week, sometimes that's a little bit more informal because they are seeing each other so often. But you do need to keep in touch with your supervisor on a regular basis. For now, the most important thing to understand about your VAD is your own activities. So those are the objectives and member activities, and how those activities build capacity for your organization to fight poverty. So it's important for you to know that as a VISTA member and as you go into this year of service. It's also important for you to know that so that when you talk to people in the community, you can explain that to other people. And that's why when I did the pointers on the VAD worksheet, it was pretend like I know nothing, because you need to be able to talk about it to people who aren't going to make the leap from point A to point C. You have to give them point B and, you know, A and a half and B and a half too. So things to know and do with your VAD, you should always keep it accessible. A well-written VAD isn't something that should just be thrown in a drawer and never looked at again. Even if your site doesn't do an evaluation of you, it's a great tool to evaluate yourself. You can go back and look at all of the objectives and activities and see how you were doing in relation to those. Because I will tell you, you will get into your year of service and you'll get into the daily grind of doing things, and this you'll forget about it because you're, you know, taking care of the things that you have to do every day. So keep it somewhere where you can go back and refer to it. It's a great tool to start a conversation with your supervisor and ask for their feedback, or to give your own feedback about the project. And then sometimes during the VISTA term, the objectives will morph into something that's actually more effective than what was originally written on the VAD. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing at all, but it goes back to the VAD being a living document. It can be made to reflect what is more effective. You should be communicating with your supervisor regularly throughout your term so that y'all can stay on the same page about that. It could also be a really great idea to pull the VAD out every other month and just check back in on it. So when you're having your, say you meet with your supervisor on the first and third Wednesday of every month, so every other month on the first Wednesday, pull out that VAD and say, all right, let's see where we are on it. It turns into a very goal-oriented situation, which helps you evaluate how things are going. Now, I know it's like I'm beating a dead horse on a lot of this bad stuff, but I am going to intentionally beat the dead horse that your supervisor is also your first person to talk to when you have questions about your VAD. It's always your supervisor. If you do have a VISTA leader, they can be a really great resource, especially if you're not sure how to talk to your supervisor about your VAD. You can kind of work on doing that with your VISTA leader, and, you know, have some kind of mock conversations. but it's still going to come back to your supervisor, and that's who you need to address issues with your VAD on. Excuse me. And then, you know, if you have reviewed your VAD with your supervisor already, you know, you're at some point in your term, you've reviewed it with your supervisor, and you're still having questions or concerns, you can try to try one more time. You know, always give it one more go and focus on the challenges and see what you can make happen. And then after that, there are resources that you can go to. Like if you have a VISTA leader, you know, you definitely want to talk to the VISTA leader. And then in every state, there's a corporation state office, which you'll see abbreviated as CSO. And that's kind of the top line when there are issues. But, you know, the goal is that you don't need to get there because you'll be able to work through it with your supervisor. And that's true during this PSO blend period as well. Like, you know, post questions to the forum, we will try to help you out, but talk to your supervisor. And during this time, if like you still have questions or concerns and those can't get resolved, I will help get you referred to the right people. We have, now that I've talked a lot about VADs, are there any questions about them now? No? All right. We're going to go on to the next slide. I'm hoping you guys are paying attention. All right. There you go. This is the stuff you have to do, so hopefully you'll pay attention. Yeah. All right. So the upcoming work. This week you have your OSOT checklist. So anytime you see OSOT, if you don't know yet, that is on-site orientation and training. So you have a checklist for that you need to get in. That's going to be due on Sunday, and that's it. Unless you haven't finished stuff from last week, get that in as well by Friday. Next week, so we're going to be due the Sunday after next, you'll have the 13 lessons about poverty, and you'll have your community profile. And then we'll have the week 4 virtual meetup, which I mentioned earlier, and that's going to be 2 weeks from today, 3 p.m. Just so you know, these activities, they're designed to surface and share your personal reflections on poverty and to kind of give you an opportunity to help explore your organization and the community in greater depth. And if you were interested in resources about like doing that even further and doing more community profile work, I've got some resources on that I can share later on. All right, we're going to go to the next slide. So I'm hoping everybody's seeing the start of a race. So I'm going to just vote with the fact that you are, because nobody's complained yet. And here's the thing, you've made it. Look, I have from Bethany that we're on the right side. So you've made it. This is the end of the virtual meetup. You can go forth and conquer at this point. Or your other option is you can actually stay on the line with me. So this really is the end of the official meetup, but I'm going to be staying online if people have any questions or want to talk about some specific stuff, and I'll stay here until 4 o'clock unless everybody has dropped off, and then I'll drop off too. I do want to thank everybody for being here today and for staying with us through some of our technical stuff. I know that webinar formats and these sorts of things are hard to stay engaged with, but thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that you found some of the info useful and that you're excited about what this year of service has in store for you. So that's it. Go forth and conquer.